Hey everyone, I'm Devon, your friendly neighborhood board game co, and this is Meg, and this is Alex. Did I do it right?
Hey!
You two get progressively weirder imitations of each other.
Well, she leaned heavily into the. Oh, I was like, fine, I'm gonna do that falsetto.
You do falsetto anyways. Yeah, it's perfect. So this is the top 100 games of all time with Board Game Co.'s team. And we have made it all the way through to now we are at 30 through 21.
We are indeed.
We're in the top 30.
We're going to do 30 through 21, and then we're going to do 20 through 11, and then we're going to do 10 through 1.
And as Alex has so articulately said, we are ranking the rankings that we ranked on PubMeek Bowl. Is that not how you said it?
Yeah.
And 30 for me is a game that I believe...
Wow, you're starting off right away.
...has already been mentioned.
By both of us?
Twice,
Whoa.
I think.
And you ranked it higher?
What is our two-way crossover we've had? Oh, Marvel Champions.
Yes, the game I have not played is on my list at number 30.
Based on the way your lists go, that's reasonable.
That's reasonable. I would expect that of me. You guys got really close.
Cascadia.
The Loop.
Yes, the game that I had to look up on our live stream, and the game I haven't played yet. You guys are killing it. You're doing really good.
No, it's not
How
30.
dare
it's
you?
not 30. It's not 30.
Might as well say Kabuto Sumo on that.
Talisman.
He does not play Talisman.
My 30
Not on your
is
list.
Marvel United.
Oh.
It's 30?
Yeah.
It should be higher.
That's solid.
It's low.
It's lower on yours.
I know, but you're the Marvel United guy.
I'm
Whether it's Marvel United or the hamster cult, is he a grown-ass child or an immature adult? You know it's Devon! Devon Dog's Tabletop!
Yes, so 30 for me is Marvel United. I think Marvel United is fantastic. I'm much more excited by the fact that Alex's very, very, very generous Marvel and Marvel X-Men gift that he gave me has been reduced from a absurd 17 boxes combined between the two of them to just the stretch goal boxes and then the wonderful organizers from One Shot Joe.
The stuff I gave you?
I gave all of those boxes to...
You were donated.
To
the local church.
Play the game, to use for studio boxes.
That's actually a reasonable answer to a stupid, annoying question.
No, if they had not
Marvel
asked for them,
Champions?
I would have trashed all of them.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How did you guess Marvel Champions, but not Marvel United?
I'm not smart, Meg.
Just curious.
I guess two games he didn't play. I guess two games I knew he didn't play.
So I love Marvel United. I think that
You should try Marvel Champions.
this would have been lower
You know what I
for
should
me.
have said? You know what I should have said? When you're like, the game I didn't play, I'd be like, hey, it's been a week since we filmed the last video. For all I know, you played it.
That's fair. That's fair. We could have lied. So Marvel United for me is a game that probably would have been lower on my list until I got everything and found a way to store everything, because the issue that I have with Marvel United, if you're looking at it in a box by box basis, is the thing that they have the most of in a box are different heroes. But that is the least variety in terms of what you're doing. Between the heroes, the changes. The villains are really what matter. The villains is what changes and makes how you're playing completely different. Mm-hmm. When you have Rhino crushing around the entire thing, knocking everybody out, or you have
what's her name? Oh my gosh, what's her name? The Thor's sister, whatever. Hela.
Hela. So when you have all of these different villains playing very different strategies against you, that's where you're changing up how you're playing. Not really in the fact that you're like, hey, I have 3 of these special symbols and you have 1.5 on your card. That's not really where, to me, the joy of the game is. It's the different challenges. And so that almost necessitates that you get more boxes because the villains, there's only maybe 1 or 2 in each box. Mm-hmm. And so to me, for this game to have longevity, I feel like I needed more of it, but I was really hesitant to do so because that's investing a lot. But now that I was able to compact all of it into a smaller footprint, I'm so excited to jump into this.
That's another game where I have no concerns, along with Cthulhu Die. It's another game where I have no concerns with how much content I own, even though I actually haven't played a lot of it yet, but because of how easy it is to proxy and different things. It's not procedural. It's not like a massive darkness where I'm like, I'm never going to get to this. It's like, well, I can get to this tomorrow. The next time I play, I can pull that villain, that hero,
Just
and I can
try
get...
someone new.
Yeah.
Well, I showed that to you guys yesterday, but simply the ability to be like, oh, I want Deadpool, and I want Old Man Logan, and I want, someone else. It's just... Like to pull all of that out very simply and get started is
One
very
Sharp
nice.
Joe has a fantastic insert for it and everything.
Yeah,
It's
it's
amazing.
beautiful.
He does. So yeah, Marvel United's my number 30.
I have a question.
Yes.
Now, Devin, I know that you've read a lot of comics and graphic novels. Have you don't know?
I have not read any Marvel stuff really at all.
Interesting.
Like honestly, if in terms of
You should.
like franchise content, I think that Marvel's killing it.
Yeah.
But in terms of graphic novels, I prefer DC.
Yeah.
So
You should read the
Batman,
Into the Spider-Verse.
Batman graphic novels, I would be very interested. I mean,
Yeah.
Spider-Man
You
Into
can
the
borrow
Spider-Verse
it.
is my favorite Marvel movie that's come
Yeah.
out.
Fantastic.
But in terms of graphic novels, I like Batman more.
Yeah.
So stuff like Year One, Dark Knight, Hush is a really really good one. Do you read much DC?
I think I read The Dark Knight. Is that, spoiler alert, the one where he beats the crap out of Superman before he then has a heart attack?
So
That was a very big spoiler with very little warning.
It's like 20 years old.
It is
It's very old.
So it's by Frank Miller
Yeah.
who also did stuff like Sin City.
It's
and
very dark, and I
It's a
think
very
he-
classic one.
yeah.
It is a very like staple like classic one that's
was a
been
great
out for a
read.
long time.
If it's
So
20
it's
years,
okay.
I know nothing
Yeah,
about
yeah,
that.
It's okay, but yes, that is the one where I don't really care for the DC Extended Universe movie rendition of it, but the book I like a lot. And
Yeah.
so he's much older. He's
Yeah.
he's much
like
older.
back
He's a much more
breaking
like
and-
tired
yeah.
tired Batman.
That one was a really good one.
That one was a really good one.
Made into a board game.
Killing Joke is also a really good one.
Yes, Killing Joke
With-
is messed up.
Yeah, it's messed up, but it's really really
Yeah,
good.
so I've read very little DC, but those ones I've read. But
So
Marvel,
I
yeah.
prefer those.
I think
There
there's
are
a
a
few
few
titles
like
I can-
story arcs that I
Yeah.
like. Actually, one of the ones that I like the most is Vision's recent one, where it's like Vision has a family in the
Yes,
suburbs,
yes.
which I was like WandaVision
That one's
totally.
also very dark.
I was like, WandaVision totally pulled from this.
Yeah, that one's
so
fantastic.
that-
Especially the
yeah.
children.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. So,
So good.
Vision's a really good one. It's
Yeah.
I'm very much like with superhero comics specifically. I'm like pick and pull. Like I really like the new Black Panther series that's by like Takesha Coates or Tanisha. I can't remember. I can't get his
I know you're
name.
referring to,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyways, he's a very very popular writer who did I feel like very like great reimagining of like Black Panther, and there's like 5 or so volumes that I've read. So I'm like pick or choose with superhero, but most of them I'm not familiar with.
Because with Marvel United, they do tap into a lot of the franchise. You know, not just people that are in the movies, but a lot of the book characters. That when we were playing that, I was having fun just choosing who I was going to play as. Because I was like, there's this person that we fought against MODOK. It was, it was
if
great.
you're familiar with a lot of the comics, and there's a ton of fan service going on with Marvel United and
it's
Marvel
really
United X-Men. MODOK actually has like a TV show that I really want to
Got
watch.
canceled, I believe.
Oh, it got canceled?
Yeah, it was good. I don't know if it necessarily held up for that
Fair.
long.
Yeah.
But my number 30. Don't know why
That
people
was
are still
Comics
here.
Corner.
Why people are still here.
They love comics, Alex.
Hey, this is good conversation, man.
I actually appreciated it.
They
was a lot of
love
fun.
it.
Listen, it could have been sports.
Like the video now if you
Good
enjoy
in sports.
comics.
My number 30 is a game that has no comic crossover whatsoever. It's another heavy
Marvel
Euro.
Champions.
It's Bruges. Bruges from Stefan Feld is again one of my favorite Euros. We're having a bunch of my heavy Euros all in a row here. We'll
there's
get to
a
that
lot
in our
of them,
trash.
like-
Yeah,
yeah.
so it is what it is. It's the list.
Troyes, Brass, now Bruges.
Le Havre.
Yep.
But yeah, Bruges is one of my favorite Stefan Feld games, and it's just all about the card play to me. The game gives you have these cards you can be drawing, and each card has abilities, but also like 5 other ways you can use it. So you can use it for the ability, or you can use it for like these 5 other aspects of the game, and the card color matters. So you can use it as a house, you can use it to build a canal, you can use it to go ahead and cash in based on the value of the die and to get money you need. You can use it to activate certain boats if you're playing with the expansion, which I recommend the expansion. The expansion is, in my opinion, an essential expansion. It basically makes it's an essential expansion. The Bruges, the city on this win. It's a great game with a ton of just card play, and the combination of the abilities that you have on all the cards, it feels like you're constantly hunting for like that other card that's going to work for your engine. But if the ability doesn't work for you, the cards can be used in any number of different ways. It's just such a good such a good game. It's Bruges.
He's so cute when he gets excited. It's
just a good game.
It's a good game.
Have you watched? It's nothing to do with the board game, but have you watched In Bruges with Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson?
No, I don't think so.
This is a great movie. You should check it out. It's like a drama and like a black comedy, but it's
just so good.
Literally only holds the title in connection.
Colin Farrell is an amazing actor.
Oh yeah,
I've always appreciated his stuff. Like he's just, and he's aged well.
Did you like The Gentleman at all?
Yeah, I love The Gentleman. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love The Gentleman. But that's the thing. So that's the thing. Colin Farrell in particular, I feel aged well. He started as like that young, very big action star, and really
action, and also had some heartthrob stuff. But then he's become, I feel like, more selective in what he wants.
But he does a great job, both the younger and older. It's like
he was also Penguin in the new Batman, which you would not know that.
I haven't seen the new Batman yet.
That's what I'm saying.
You still won't recognize him.
He's very good. He's very good.
I love Colin Farrell a lot.
Yeah.
I love Colin Farrell.
What's your 30?
My number 30 is a roll and write that I played this year. Do you guys want to guess? We're doing the guessing thing.
I love Cats Explore and Draw.
That's not a roll and write.
What are you rolling that, Alex?
Oh, it's a roll and write. I just heard right.
Railroad Ink?
No.
Not Cartographers. Rolling Realms.
No. We played it together, though.
Zombicide Gears.
We don't have to do this.
Twilight Inscription.
She's like, dear God, guys, shut up.
She's like, I know it was my idea, but it was a bad one. Let's move on.
Do you guys want to guess? You should stop guessing.
Do you remember how we spent time guessing whether his favorite game was the ones he hadn't played?
I was also at that time like, I just need to start talking.
Maybe guessing isn't our jam.
It is genuinely like with Amber, whenever she's trying to like tell me a story, I'll like try to guess what she's about to say, and she's gotten to the point where like the first 2 times she'll,
and then she's always wrong.
And no, it's like the first 2 times.
I was trying to guess what you're
if I try to do it a 3rd time and I've messed up twice in a row, she's like, "Shut up!
Yeah.
Let me talk."
Yeah.
So talk.
He does that to me all the time. We're all going to say something and he'll deduce it for me.
Don't hit my glasses. Hit my glasses.
I'm sorry.
But like now it's smudged.
I'm sorry. Here,
I got this. Meg, go talk about your game.
I'll unsmudge it.
Twilight Inscription, Meg.
You can't talk. She's supposed to talk.
Go.
Twilight Inscription's really good. It's a new roll and write. It's awesome. It's fun. You use like neon orange markers. They're cool.
I don't like the markers.
Oh my god, I love them.
I hate them. They don't rub off well at all.
I know, but the bright orange on the space...
It looks beautiful.
Looks great.
Yeah. It's horrible implementation, though. It's a great look.
But as someone who, like, I also enjoy cleaning up, I think it's fun to, like, wash them all down. Remember last time we played and I cleaned them all? It was fun.
Is it the same
thing
as...
It's like a game after the game.
Cartographers, where if you just buy your own markers that are better, like, you don't mind it?
The orange is a really good color for the boards.
The boards are space colored, so you need something like neon to be... bright on
So
it.
guys, this is crazy, but what if
we got neon colors? It depends on how well they like it. I understand that.
I was like, what if you guys buy some that are similar, and you guys, it would almost have to be similar.
I am wondering if there's a reason they don't they I mean, they could have gotten better markers in theory, right? So I'm wondering if there's a reason, if there's a color association where it's harder.
I think it's because they're chalk based that it's just, it probably is like the best you can do for what you need for that
That's
kind
what
of
I'm
color.
wondering.
Yeah.
That's what I'm wondering.
That's what I'm wondering.
Hey, I enjoy it. I think the neon orange on the space is great. But yeah, it's 4 different puzzles, and it's a roll and write where you're trying to build up your different factions, I don't know, areas, whatever they are. It's fun.
Yeah, I sound really selling it.
I do love when you and I are like boorishly talking too much, and we finally get to the point where we stop talking. We're like, all right, we're gonna hold ourselves in. We're gonna restrain it. Meg, now you talk, and she's like, it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really. It chains really well. I think that what it does as a roll and write, having like that level of complexity, I really enjoy it. There are different abilities that you can unlock when you get certain things, and I think figuring out the puzzle of which things you're going to pay into when can be a lot of fun.
My number 29, I'm going to make you guess because I think it's funny now, is a game we were supposed to play at PAX but didn't.
Oh! Dune Imperium?
Nope.
He hasn't played that.
Wait, Dune Imperium?
The expansion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but just Dune Imperium could be on there.
It's a game we were supposed to play at PAX, but didn't.
Twilight Imperium.
Haven't played it at all.
Oh, Marvel Champions.
Food Chain Magnate.
You didn't let me guess at all.
You didn't guess!
You didn't even give me a second.
I mean, you gave me
I would
time while
argue-
I was guessing. You just didn't guess.
Food Chain Magnate is a game that I
That's
absolutely...
what I was going to say.
Oh my
I'm just
God.
saying. I was basically right.
I was basically right. Marvel Champions.
Food Chain Magnate is a game that I absolutely adore. The real problem is we were supposed to play the expansion as well at PAX, and it honestly was a mistake. We had a whole meetup for our Twitch community, and the mistake we made is thinking that we're going to play a game like Food Chain Magnate at a giant meetup with 15
Well, at first we
people.
thought we might have been able to show up earlier too, but we were doing food
17
stuff
things,
and things
yeah.
like that. That it was just more hectic than I think we anticipated.
But either way, I still love the game. I played it a ton. I really enjoy it. It is, even though this does fall into the category of like a draw Euro or whatnot, it is really just, the way we usually describe it when we're our group is we describe it as economical warfare. It doesn't feel like a Euro game. It feels like you're screwing with the other people every single thing you do. You're like, oh, you're going to advertise hot dogs? Okay, great. Well, I'm going to, actually can't advertise hot dogs. You're going to advertise burgers? Well, okay, no problem. We're going to make sure that that house over there doesn't want burgers. They just want pizza. You're like, well, you're going to undercut me and start making pizza? Okay, great. We're going to start changing the advertising. We're going to run a whole airline campaign. Now all they want is drinks, and we're just going to load them up over there. You're like, you think you can do that? I'm going to undercut you by having a radio campaign that will launch first and completely fulfill the demand with burgers, going back to my original thing. You're like, great, well, fine, screw you. I'll make burgers then. And you get that burger cooking, you're trying to get all these burger production up and running. It feels like you're constantly adjusting to the other player's strategy, trying to be just ahead of them in terms of what you're doing, but it feels like you're fighting with each other just through the use of like burgers, pizza, and drinks. It's great. I like it.
I kind of want to play this now.
Yeah, I do.
It's
We
great.
were supposed to. Shout out to George. Someday he'll teach it to me.
Yeah.
Someday.
After Wild Ascent?
FCM.
After you guys finished Wild Ascent?
I'm just glad I wasn't the one who was placed in that one. That was George's fault.
Yeah,
I
it's
was like,
George's
finally,
fault.
it's not my fault.
That was your 30?
29.
That was 29?
What's your 29, Devon?
My 29...
Make us guess. Dear Lord.
Make us guess. Give us hints.
My 29 is a game that we are all wondering if it will
Crocodile.
not be our favorite if we play enough of another game.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
No.
We talked about it today.
Too Many Bones.
Too Many Bones.
Oh.
29 is Too Many Bones for me. Really like chip theory games. It's definitely one of those things where to get the most out of those games, you have to be playing that one game a lot to be immersed in it, to where you're not having to refer to rules and you can just kind of like really be in it. And I have never been able to get to that point with most of their titles except for Burn Cycle. Burn Cycle most recently was just because I was doing it for content and because I was also teaching it to a few people. I just got to the point where like in the space of a month, I played it like 9 or 10 times. And so I feel comfortable to the point where it's like, you know, now if I went back to play it, I might refer to one or two things, but I consistently know it. And I just never really got to that point with Too Many Bones or Cloudspire. I played both of those and I covered both of those, but they were such dense titles that after that initial burst, I wasn't ever really able to get back to it in a consistent way. But I still love Too Many Bones. It's a world that I think is absolutely... in terms of like crafted world building, like Gloomhaven has never really done it for me, and it feels more like.
I was gonna sneeze. If
No.
you saw my face.
I did. I was like,
Like a
I was like,
thought.
did I say something offensive?
No,
I was
I
like,
thought it was
world
gonna
building.
sneeze.
Oh, snooze. Devin's talking about lore again. I was like, okay, sorry, I'll stop talking.
It was my face being weird.
She was saying.
I was saying that Gloomhaven never really grabbed me, but I think that the gear locks, I think that's such a like gripping
It's very
little
cheeky
world.
game. Very
Yeah,
sassy.
it's cheeky, it's sassy. It's kind of like, to me, the gear locks and Too Many Bones is like a fantasy rendition of like the Ewoks from Star Wars. Just this little like clucky little like plucky little group of like small characters that are like, we're gonna beat everybody. And so I just love that. And yeah, Too Many Bones, 29 for me.
It's a fantastic game. We'll never hear about it again.
I'm excited to see 20 Strong.
What, Sean?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
very
excited
excited.
for how
Yeah,
that goes.
interested in that.
Meg, what's your 29?
My number 29 is a game that's already been mentioned. Do we want to guess?
We need more hints than that.
We've done. I mean, we've done 70,
It was on your list.
210 potential.
But you would know I would
total.
rank it higher than you do. Particularly for the solo mode.
Rolling Realms,
Calico.
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 Oh.
Meow, meow, meow. Meow, meow, I love Calico. So Calico is one that I enjoyed. I was okay with it. It was one that is accessible for us.
Oh, let's go sneeze.
I learned it on Tabletopia, so it's very great on Tabletopia. I was okay with it. I was like, this is a great filler game for us to play, and then I started trying the solo mode. The solo mode is hard. I'm still stuck at number 9. You finished 9.
I finished 9, I'm up to 10.
Okay, so Alex may beat me, we'll see. Because we've been kind of racing each other, and I was ahead, but then I started doing more work, and then he even caught up. So yeah, I think that the solo mode is very, very challenging because what happens is you have like 3 areas that you're trying to score certain ways, and the solo mode will force you to put certain ones in certain places where you have to try to get certain combinations. And number 9 is like you need like almost perfect placement from the beginning. And one of the things that I think we didn't say when you brought it up is for the tiles, there are 6 different colors and 6 different patterns. So there's only 3 copies of each exact type of tile. So if you need to have all of them matching and get the perfect score, which is both the color and the pattern matching, it can be very, very difficult for them to come out in solo mode. That it is really tricky, and I just keep going back to it. I haven't been able to beat number 9, but yeah, nice. I love Calico.
Yeah, obsessed. It's really good.
Oh, and there's now a campaign-y type.
Oh, they just announced some video game production thingy is making a video game version of Calico. Oh. And it's going to give you more of a campaign, full-on progression thing.
Yeah.
So
there's a bit more to it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Excited for that.
28?
I mean, I can jump into my 28. 28 is one of the games that you both want me to teach you.
Oh, it's the one I can't name. It's a black box. It's a black box with a lot of people on it.
Yes.
Arcana, is that even in it?
Nope.
The
A's right. The A's right.
You picked it. It was in the video that we did. You picked it. It's a
Assassin's Creed?
Nope.
No.
Arena of the Contest?
Yes.
That's the one.
Okay.
Arena of the Contest.
The skirmish one.
The skirmish game. Arena of the Contest is my 28.
I think it's one of the few in your collection that I know that you have a lot of games like Machina Arcana and other ones that you're like, I wish I could play this more.
That's a lot of games.
Yeah, no, it's a big list, but I feel like Arena is one of the ones that like you have seemed to be the most visceral, like the most frustrated that you're like, I wish I could play this more.
There's a lot that are on that list. But Arena also has a factor that
wrong.
I'm still waiting on Tenaris Adventures to show up, which is giving me. I'm still waiting on Tenaris Adventures to show up, which is giving me a bit of hesitancy about like needing to dive into it. I'm kind of like, I'll play it when Tenaris comes in. But Arena of the Contest is a skirmish game that was originally designed primarily as a 4 versus 4 skirmish game. Whoever controls how many, you can have 2 versus 2, but there's 4 characters versus 4 characters. Control your characters, use all the spells, combinations, and abilities, all those things. It also kind of had a solo mode. But the solo mode, I believe, is what the audience kind of ended up picking up on and becoming more attached to. I got it not even being interested in it. I just got it for a trade. I was like, I guess I'll look into this. And I played it, and I was like, this is so much fun. The way the powers and abilities combine, the way you're trying to go through, like, I'm going to, shoot an arrow through a line of 3 people, but in order to have a line of 3 people, I need to have you go ahead and, like, do that casting spell, which you're going to shove them into the line. You have all these abilities, and you have powerful abilities that are one-time use, and then you have regular abilities you can keep on using. You're rolling 20-sided dice for, like, the attacking modifiers, and you have tons of abilities and different things you can do as you go through this campaign progression, and you just feel cool as you do it. And Tenaris Adventures kind of doubled down and said, oh, the campaign's what you liked? We'll give you, like, that campaign, and we'll give you, like, 5 giant painted dragons, too, along with this campaign.
They're painted?
If you wanted to, you get them painted.
Did you get them painted?
Of course I got them painted.
Of course I got them painted.
And then they followed that up with a Tenaris RPG. Speaking of RPGs I'd love to play, Tenaris RPG is an RPG I would love to play. I need to speak to them. Oh, I forgot. Oh, yeah, we do an RPG.
You said would love to play?
Yeah. What do you mean? There's a few RPGs I would love to play. Gloomhaven and Tenaris. Because I like the rules already. I already enjoy the rules.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Too bad we won't cater to your wants and desires.
Eventually.
Too bad you don't love Lord of the Rings.
I like the world of Lord of the Rings a lot. I don't see myself in it as obviously. I don't see myself in it. No. I love Lord of the Rings. All right. But I don't see myself in that world as much. It's a difference. Like, I can see myself being in Tenaris because I've already played as characters in that game. Like, when I see Lord of the Rings, I see specific characters. I don't see random hobbits and elves. I see Legolas and, Frodo or whatever. So, like, in that sense, like, I don't see myself as being those characters, and I don't see myself as being a random hobbit. Like, okay, great, I'll be a random hobbit doing nothing while they have fun. That's so So it's not that I
Well, they have fun. It was great for Frodo. He had a good time.
Living my best life. Out here in sunny Mordor.
Like when he was permanently cursed for the rest of his life and he decided life is miserable. I need to go to the Undying Lands with the elves because I've had such a hard time.
Particularly when he was stung by the giant spider and wrapped up and unable to breathe.
Frodo's not the one who I think of as having fun. It's more Legolas.
Oh, come on. Pippin was the one having fun.
Yeah,
they were
Pippin
out
and
smoking
Legolas.
with the Ents.
My only point is the world of Lord of the Rings I love. Being in there as an RPG is a lower rank for me compared to some other things.
Okay.
That's because we're doing an RPG on this channel eventually at some point. It'll be fun. I'm going to be an accountant.
Like when Legolas as an elf watched all of his friends who weren't elves slowly die over the course of decades. Like such a good time.
Just to be clear, so he's doing that while shooting arrows into enemies, counting up and having fun, and effectively playing a game. Now, do I seem like the kind of person who had fun playing a game while my friends die around me?
I want
people
to see,
shooting other people. Effectively, he's playing a game.
I want to see Alex in a war setting going 21, 22. How many you got, Meg? And she goes, the dragons.
Anyways, what are we even talking about at this point?
I don't know.
I mean, in the contest. It's
Is
a
that
great
20
game.
is that 28
I'd
for
play
you?
the RPG. That's my
For
point.
a hot second, I forgot we were filming a video.
I did as well.
28. That was my 28.
What's your 28? What's your 28, Meg?
I guess, we're only, okay. My number 28 is Mechs versus Minions. Not Mechs versus Minions,
I want to
Mechs
play
versus
this so
Minions.
bad.
I heard Megs versus Minions.
Yeah.
Wait a
Mechs
second.
versus Minions. I had a delightful time playing that game. We played it at WSBG. It's a programming game.
Oh, you guys played it recently?
Yeah, we played through like 4 levels.
Yep.
We just kept playing that. I was having so much fun. I was like, let's do one more. Okay, let's do one more.
Nice.
And it is one that I think that playing that is when I brought up Dead of Winter, that I was like, this is one of the first times I've really felt appropriately overwhelmed. Like, not to the point where we're losing and like we might as well not play, but to the point where it felt like we really had to fix the situation and make the best choices possible, or else we would lose, but we could do
Minions in
it.
that game. You get the game, you pull the box open, you're like, oh my gosh, there's like 70 minions. You pick up the tray, you're like, there's 80 more minions. You pick up another tray, you're like, there's 80 more minions. You turn to your friend who knows the game, you're like, we don't need all these, right? And they're like, you do.
He starts spawning them as we're playing, and he's like saying like, okay, now they all spawn in this row for 2 rows, and I was like, are you sure?
Are you sure?
Are you sure that many spawn? But they do.
And we won.
Who all taught it to
Yeah.
you?
We lost the for that one.
Who
that
taught
one
it to
we
you?
lost.
Alex
I
did.
have. Yeah.
Oh.
He'd played it a lot before.
gotcha.
I played it before.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, I very delightful. So you're these people.
I'm the friend in that story.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
yeah, you do.
because you said it so casual and not your name. I was like, oh, who taught it?
I'm saying in any arbitrary story in which you are learning Mechs versus Minions, there's someone who's smug about the
Oh my
fact
god,
that you
it
actually
sounds
need
like
them all.
Mechs versus Minions.
Mechs
We
versus
need an
Minions.
expansion.
Mechs versus Minions.
I tried to make it sound like I have more friends that I play other games with, but I don't.
So I had this friend who taught me Calico solo. No one else was in the room.
You're playing as like these little goblin people inside of like a car
Yes.
type
Mechs.
vehicle, a mech. Sure.
In Mechs versus
Sure.
Minions, you're
Whatever.
playing as a goblin person in a car type vehicle.
And yeah, you're like just I lost my mind. You're just killing all these minions.
So the minions are like versus something?
Versus the mechs.
Oh, like I thought it was more like a goblin in like a
Car type.
car.
But yeah, the programming part was very fun.
Yes.
So you're kind of drafting cards, but the thing that's interesting is that you are playing co-op. So you're drafting out of these cards that are available, but you're also trying to choose which cards are better for who to take to be
And
building
you have
your
a
board.
timer.
And you have a timer.
Yeah.
Which I enjoy.
I like that because
Because we both play very snappy.
it effectively means that 2 players or 3 or 4 of a play count are all trying to communicate. That's funny. Are all trying to communicate very quickly about which cards are better for the engine, and if you don't have time, you just look at the cards. So it's like I'll use that yellow one. I think it's good for me, and you're like, I'll take the blue, and then the timer's on. You're like, actually, the blue would have been better for me, but it's too late now. You're locked into the choice.
Gotcha.
And I forget what was causing it, but didn't we have like malfunctions happening?
Yes, you do, because you don't actually die technically. The game's trying to slow you down so the timer runs out, and to do that, one of the things that happens is you have damage. So damage is assigned to your mechs, and that messes up your engine. So you malfunction rather than being dead.
Yeah, it was really enjoyable. I had a lovely time with it.
I like it a lot. I'm kind of sad it's not on my top 100. Yeah.
What a bummer.
I have that is a game that I have had on top of my shelf, and I bought it because.
Do you want to play it right after this?
I would love to play it.
Homie.
I would love to play it.
I will teach it to you.
Is it even on my list? Is the question. Now I have to worry about that.
I think when I talked to you at your place one time, you said that you really liked it, but it's just like you played enough of it that you didn't like it. I think it was a game that could have been a 4 or 4.5, but then like.
I think it's just. I think it has. Wait, no, it is on my list.
Did you already do it?
Yeah, I talked about Mechs Minions. Yeah, I did. I actually mentioned this. It was my top 100. Good on me. Good on me. I'm glad.
Good on me.
Good on me.
Good.
Yay for
Alex knows what he's doing. Alex knows.
Guys, Alex is so smart.
It was like at 70 or so.
Thank you.
All right.
My 28 is my favorite title from Burnt Island Games.
There's a favorite title, and I was gonna be like, that's supposed to be number 1 now.
Guys, I'm good at numbers. I'm good at numbers.
We're like getting loopier.
Yeah, we're getting loopier. No, we gotta dig deep into this.
No, I'm saying we should get some alcohol and can lean into it.
Yeah, 100%. It's my favorite title from Burnt Island Games. It is In Too Deep. This is actually, sweet memories, the first time I got to hang out with Alex.
Aww.
We did a live play together
our first game
with
ever.
Helena and Josh. And I think Helena kind of GM'd the whole thing, and then Josh actually actively played with us. And then I think her name was Sarah.
I don't remember.
Someone who was also another online content creator. And it was a really fun time, and I love that game. It's a spatial puzzler. It is technically in the vein of a pick up and deliver game, but the spatial puzzling that you get to do. Thematically, I think, is another reason why I love it, is you're actually a police operative or detective, and you go undercover by hijacking into the minds of these criminal syndicate lieutenants. And they all have different special abilities, and the further you gain grip with them, or the more deeper into their minds you get, you actually start to unlock the ability to use all of their specials. So instead of just moving them around and navigating them, the further you get, you can use them in ways one chick has the ability to jump across the entire map, opposite her, or another one has the ability to run a lot faster, another one has the ability to pick up stuff for free. And all of the abilities are really cool. I love the spatial puzzling, and it does escalate quite nicely. You have Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 stories, which are the different pick up and deliver missions that you have to accomplish. And then as they go up, it's have this person in this thing with this item. And then the second one might be drop this item here while one of the criminals you control is also over here, and then have the sentinel here. And that's another object. And then by the third one, you might have.
Oh, it's crazy.
It's just it's so much.
You will
more.
Never achieve this, but if you do, you'll win the game.
Yeah, it's so satisfying. But there's also this thing of In Too Deep. Thematically, there's two ways that the end game can go. You guys can collectively accumulate enough evidence to where you foil the plans of the syndicate, or if you don't, then at least one of you has gone in too deep, and you kind of lose yourself and become a criminal. But that doesn't matter.
I like that.
Because if you get enough points from it, then
it's like a 20-point hit, I think.
Yeah, if they foil the syndicate plans, whoever went too deep by getting the most dilemma or corruption, they have a big point ding. But if you don't, which you can intentionally not contribute to that and really focus and just take the, because whenever you complete a story, you get two options: the safer option that is more get evidence, and the worse option that's more get more points, but also potentially
more corruption.
Yeah.
And it's such a fun game. I think the only obtuse thing is I try not to teach people the scoring when you play the game, because the scoring has 4 different elements, and it's much better to just play the game and then be like, hey, this is how the scoring pans out, so they can be like, oh, okay.
I don't recommend that.
With me.
That's fine. I still think it's the best way to do it, because it's too much to explain the first time. There's too many scoring elements that are in play. And I think it's just much more fun to have people be like, hey, figure out this spatial puzzler and enjoy that, and then go after these things, and we'll see how you do later.
It's a really cool concept.
It's my favorite game from them.
Have you seen The Cell?
I have not.
I think so.
With Jennifer...
I think so. I'm pretty sure.
What's her name?
Don't remember.
Yeah.
Jennifer, what's her name?
Yeah, Lopez.
Lopez. No, I haven't seen that.
It's a good movie.
Nice.
Sounds like that, where she like goes into the dreams of like a murderer to try to like uncover things, and she keeps like getting like it's more dangerous the more and more she's in the dream.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Did you do 28 yet?
I think everybody's done 28. My 27 to snake around here is a game that my good friend Alex supplied for me and taught me. It is...
This is an incestuous list.
It is. The Great Wall.
Oh, it's so good.
So The Great Wall was a title that when the first campaign came out, I was like, that looks right up my alley. I was like, it looks so cool. It's a gorgeous production from Awakened Realms. Absolutely beautiful. And then they were coming around for the reprint, and I was like, I have to play this before the reprint. I was like, I don't want to just drop, $200 or something on a game when I haven't played it. I was like, I really want to try it out first. And we had the opportunity to play it. And I played like 2/3 of a game with just all the base stuff just to kind of get a sense of the rules. And then after that, we played a full game with the Black Powder expansion. And I don't even know how I lucked into a win. Like, it was...
You played well. You played well.
But I think I got lucky.
I don't think you did. I think you played well.
I think you think that too.
But maybe. But it was so fun. Like, that was such a cool game.
A great game.
Such a cool game. I don't even really know how to, like, it's got such a presence on the table, especially
giant worker placement game, which you
massive.
have hordes of enemies trying to approach your walls and take you down. You want to defend the walls, but not necessarily because you care about anyone else, because you get points for doing so. So it's not really co-op or semi-co-op. You're just trying to get points.
Mm-hmm.
Along the way, you're trying to get your production engines up and running through putting people down in those little quarry leaders or whatever they're called, getting your engine up and running. You also have these advisors and generals that are otherwise known as powers and abilities, which are a lot of fun because you can go ahead and just get
these... I was going to say generals. I was just going to repeat the word.
Yeah, they're known as advisors and generals. They're powers and abilities that will feed into your engine. It's a worker placement game with just lots of ways to try to make it your own unique little puzzle, which is why it's so much fun.
Do you ever feel disappointed in yourself when he does this and you don't get the cue?
I usually get the cue.
Oh yeah, I also
yeah,
do.
She had it last time.
I also do as well.
Food Chain Magnate, she had it.
Yeah. He just didn't give me a minute to answer.
Yeah.
27 for you guys. What's 27?
My 27 is another Euro. I don't know if either or both of you have played it, Through the Ages.
No.
I have played Through the Ages.
Haven't.
It's so good.
Only digitally.
I'm gonna do this with like the next 26 titles. Like, it's so good.
I've only done it digitally.
It's better physically, but it is a game that it's one of the few games that I think it's better physically, but I do play it more digitally.
Yeah.
It's just easier to table.
Through the Ages is an interesting game for me because I know that you love it. I know that Vlada Chattel is like an incredibly talented.
He's an incredibly talented designer.
He's such a good designer. But for me, it's so weird because it's like Civilization is such a good video game, and then it was like, what if we make a board game to adapt this? And then it was like, but what if we make a digital game of this board game that is also, you could just play Civilization? And then it's just like...
I just love what you're doing to it.
I know.
Do it again, Devin. Do it again.
Through the Ages is a Civ...
I'd just rather play Civilization.
So first of all, Civilization does have a board game version of it. But the better board game version of Civilization is Through the Ages.
I don't doubt that
that's true. It gives you a cargo. Everything is about the cargo. You have an action economy. You have a certain number of actions spent every round. Those actions are going to be used on different things, from turning your population, from growing population by spending food, from building different new buildings that will add to your pool of like production effectively, by grabbing cards from the card wheel you'll use for any number of different things, for leaders, for one-time use abilities, for wonders, for all these different things, for new technologies that can be more buildings that you're building. It's all about building your tableau. The entire game is tableau building the game, but you do that across like 3 hours of play. Ideally 2 or 3 players. I would not recommend 4. Even 3 is not where I first recommend it. I recommend 2 first, and then 3 gives you another little bit dynamic at the table, which can help once you start getting into wars.
3 definitely helps with the conflict. Yes. If it's 2, it can be a lot more.
It adds an hour and a half to make the conflict better. So that's a trade-off that you have to be mindful of. If you're playing with friends who you enjoy and appreciate their company, it's worth it. Yeah. If you're not, play it too. Yeah. But it's a really, really good engine. I agree with you that by making it into a video game, there is the question, should I just play Civilization? Yeah. Which is a great video game. Yeah. Which is why I primarily, I would
play it physically.
I would like to play it physically. I spend more hours playing it physically, but I do occasionally, and this is another thing as well, I don't play it like on the computer. I don't know what you do. I'll play it on my phone when I'm traveling. When I'm not playing Sid Meier's Civilization on my phone, I'm traveling. Yeah. So that's the trade-off. So there's no situation where I'm choosing one over the other in that sense.
Yeah. No, it is a very, and I tease, but like, I would say that at the end of the day, I think Civilization as a video game actually has more in common with like Age of Empires than Civilization the video game has in common with Through the Ages the board game. Like Through the Ages the board game definitely has like a lot more nuanced and layered card play and like setting up between the different ages to itself, and the different leaders that you get is very well done. I do like it. It's just not like it's not my like inclination of the type of game that I would pick.
I want you to play it physically though.
I think it's one of the titles that I liked the digital version. Also, random note, the digital version has one of the best tutorials I've seen, and it's actually like a little miniature figure of Vlada's head, like teaching you the game, which I think is kind of hilarious. But playing it digitally, I was like, I see like what the value is, but playing it digitally just makes me want to play something that's more spatially or mentally interactive for me, which would be like Civilization. But I would not be opposed to playing it physically.
Next time you have 7.5 hours.
Sounds good.
No, 3 players, you can get it done probably 3.5 with snappy players. So with Devon, about 7.5 hours. Meg, your pick.
What's 27?
My number 27 is a new game to me this year. Ooh. I haven't played it a ton, but Flamecraft.
Flamecraft?
Yeah.
Where's our plushy dragons when we need them?
I know.
Flamecraft.
Where are the babies? I had a delightful time playing it. It's, again, very cheeky, where it does a lot of cute stuff with, like, what the different shops are named and things like that. But it's one of those ones that's, like, a little deceitful in how cute it is, that it is very thinky, and you can be very cutthroat and lock people out of things, which is really fun. And you can also, like, jump up in points. There's, like, some secret endgame scoring that you can add if you get certain cards. I really had a very good time with it. After seeing it, I was like, oh, this is so cute, and I love cute games, and that's fine. But then when I saw just how deep the strategy can go, I was really into it.
Yeah, no, so Flamecraft, same people, Cardboard and Alchemy, that we talked about, Mission Catastrophe earlier, and Peter and Brad just kill it.
Really well done.
They know how to make some good games. And Manny Vega, I think part of the thing that I enjoy the most about that is how clever like the world is. Like all the different shop names it's like I love inside references. I love inside references to stuff.
I'm trying to remember what it was because they're all very cute. Like
and there's Hocus and Pocus for 2 of the dragons, and one wants dogs and the other one wants cats.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's been very popular. It's been selling out in a lot of places. Like I wonder if that'll be an evergreen in the hobby.
Beautifully done.
I don't doubt that it would be.
Yeah.
You're 27, or you did 27 for you?
I think 27 for me.
You started in Snake Draft, didn't you?
Yeah, I did Great Wall. Yeah. 27 for you.
Meg, you want to start Snake Draft? 26?
Sure.
Did you do 27?
I did 27 after you, yes.
Oh.
I Through the Ages. We talked about it for like
Meg, do you want to do 26?
My number 26 is another crossover.
In this video?
I don't think so.
Oh.
With Mr. Devon Talks Tabletop. Because I'm really good at dice rolling.
Nice.
What do you think
dice
it could be? I was asking Devon.
Was it dice thrown?
Yeah.
Okay.
I wouldn't get that mad if he wasn't right.
I know. She'd be like, nope. She'd be happy, I guess. She'd be happy, I guess.
I really love Dice Throne. I think it's really well done. And I think one of the things, I didn't bring it up when you were talking about it just to save it because I knew it was coming up. It's one of those games that you start at 50 health, and it seems like a lot. Like when you were the one that actually taught this game to me last time I was visiting, and I felt like starting at 50 health seemed like a lot. I was like, this is going to be a lot of back and forth, and you very quickly just start knocking away at the other person. Then she destroyed me. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. That was one where I got to do the ultimate attack as my final attack. Did you play
as the chick Naira with the leopard?
Yeah.
I
think it's a wolf, but maybe it's a leopard.
I think it's a leopard.
It's a leopard, but I also usually just assume she's right.
No, she's wrong on this. I know it's not a wolf. I may be wrong that it's not a leopard. It could be a tiger or something, but it's definitely like not. She has a little baby. It's a big cat.
But yeah, I think it's really well done, and I think it's one of those games that you can mix in. I think you already said it, but you can mix and match all the different ones, and they all fit really well. And it is very accessible. That once you learn like the base mechanics, you can pick up any of the heroes and play as them. Yeah. It's one that I
shout out to Artificer Season 2. It's like my favorite game.
I love the Artificer.
I think I played against.
I love his stuff.
He builds robots.
Yes.
Robot.
He's one of the most complex characters, but he can build a little attack robot, a little heal robot, and another one that does something else.
I enjoyed Loki a lot.
Loki's fun. Marvel Dice Throne is cool. Cool for sure.
From Marvel, my favorite I think is Black Widow. I like her equipment and gear.
Yeah.
Nice.
I like Scarlet Witch.
Scarlet Witch is a pain with her magic.
Messing with
She's
your
cool.
dice.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so I love Dice Throne.
Yeah, shout out to Dice Throne, really fun. I want to dive into role player adventure. Why did I say role player?
Dice Throne Adventures.
Dice Throne Adventures. We keep doing that. Those two, like, we mix up all the time. But yeah, I want to play Dice Throne Adventures just to see like what else that opens up into the game. Yeah, I played all of it besides that.
My 26
is Santa and Krampus.
Yes, my 26 is a masterclass in what you can do with 18 cards, not Airland and Sea, because I already had that earlier on my list. But it's Skulls of Sedlec, my favorite Button Shy game.
Does that also have 18 cards?
Button Shy games by design all have 18 cards until you get the expansion stuff, which adds. But their standard thing is we have 18 cards. That's our game. 18
cool.
Cards. Yeah, and they fit into a small little wallet. It's $10 for the game plus shipping, whatever it is. You can buy modules. I do recommend the modules. They add to the experience for me. But Skulls of Sedlec, the entire premise of it is you have 18 cards. You put them in 6 piles of 3, and you start turning over the cards to try to put them. What are you doing? Yawning. You're going to fit those cards into your own little graveyard, constructing effectively a pyramid of the cards. Now, every card score is based on certain conditions that have to do with, what it's next to, what it's on top of, what it's chaining to, which row it's in. They all these different puzzles about it, and it's all about just trying to optimize your score in this little engine of just taking a card and putting it down. And the expansion just add more roles to the game. So now you have a dungeon master, whatever it is, that scores through chains of prisoners, and they have new things that mix up. Your poets want to be next to lone lovers, which is lovers normally want to be together, but poets are, they sing about the songs of sadness, and so they want to be next to people who are alone. It's just more roles
really
to mix
sad.
It is really sad. If it helps,
what a bummer.
The entire theme, just so we're clear, is
what a buzzkill.
The entire theme, just so we're clear, is you are digging up graves to rebury the bodies elsewhere. That's the entire theme.
So dark.
Okay?
Why?
Because historically that was done at times, and so so you're trying to rearrange the dead bodies more optimally with your own little psychopathic ideas of that these two dead bodies were lovers, so we're gonna put them next to each other.
This sounds like they were like, hey, let's make a game based off of Dexter, the TV show. We lost the license. Skulls of Sedlec?
Have you seen what the game looks like, though? Because
hasn't it got like dark bluish, like with the vibrant kind of like almost Dia de la Muerta skulls on it?
I just think the artwork of the cards is so adorably cute.
Again, these poor people want to see what you're seeing.
You see, that's the dead bodies you're trying to like rearrange.
B-roll.
Hey, B-roll. Here we go. That's gonna be your
They're not gonna be able to see that. My stuff's not as good as yours.
Yeah.
Yeah, you showed this to me, Alex, and I had a fun time playing with it, but I wasn't as enchanted as you were.
It's okay. You don't have to like sing as I do.
I know.
He's like, I'm just disappointed.
I'm just disappointed. That's what I am. I'm just disappointed. Wait. There's a solo version.
Well, then maybe I'll enjoy that.
26 for me is one of my favorite campaign narrative experiences that I have seen to date, with one of the coolest mechanisms that I've seen and played with and enjoy. And I went about 6 chapters or stories into it, and I stopped in order to wait for the update that I'm waiting for. And it is Chronicles of Drunagor, Age of Darkness. And do you not like this?
Oh no, I have it. I won't.
Play it.
Oh,
okay. It is one of the best first titles from a publisher I've seen. The action selection system, which is based off of the idea of curses and trauma cubes. And you start off the story feeling so powerful. You have access to all of your abilities, and you're like, I am untouchable. And then you get just a couple rounds in, and you're like, I don't have access to that power anymore. I don't have access to that power anymore. This is getting scary. And then you get close to the end, and you're like, I can run and poke, and that's it.
Through.
And you're like, I'm gonna poke, and it's not doing anything. I'm gonna run. And that it does a really good job. Speaking of things that maintain tension, I've talked about how I like that in Cthulhu Death May Die, where as you get more powerful, you also are closer to death. And I like something where I feel like the entire time I'm playing, I'm feeling the onset of loss and death, but I also feel like I can make it out alive. And man, Chronicles of Drunagor does a really good job. It also has a cool little interaction book where you have images and like you can choose what to play, what to mess with, and you only get one option. So it really does encourage, like, if you want to come back and play,
you get a limited number of options.
Yeah, sorry, you may get like 2 or 3 or 4 interaction points that you get to choose on a page, but it might have 10 on it. And so, like, there is that idea that, like, if you want to come back to it, you can choose different options and see things. But I really do like the system that they've got in place, and the kind of the onset of darkness that comes onto the board that empowers enemies and then makes you weaker. Just really, really a title that I do have a good time with.
Yeah, I've been waiting for the update as well to dive into it. Yeah, because like the Choose Your Own Adventure was just much better, and the way they interacted. Yeah, I'm waiting for the new stuff.
Yep.
25.
Yep.
Before we do the next game, we are officially in the top 25 now. I'm just saying. This is where it gets...
I mean, I don't know. The last 10 have already started to be that for me. But you're right.
About to be
getting
on fire.
25.
For me, the top 50 have really been something special.
Yeah.
25 for me, speaking of games that are, I mean, I guess this is something special, is Everdell. Everdell is just...
Was Everdell this video for you?
No, it was the last one.
Last video.
Yeah.
25 for me is Everdell, which is just ridiculously good at what it's doing. I share your complaint about the static market. Mm-hmm. I hear your point about the static market, but I just like the game. The game is just worker placement with.
You would be such a good politician.
I am a great politician. I'm not.
I am a great politician.
I feel dirty even saying it. It's like I want to gag. I'm like, no, that's not.
Meg's like, I want to sneeze.
The general idea of it is every single turn you take an action. The actions are you either place down one of your critters, which you'll get back every season, there's 4 seasons, or you take various card-based actions. And so you're trying to figure out how to work with your economy over here to extend your turn properly and or to go into the right season at the right time with the right cards while going for different goals. And you're trying to just, it's all about the card play. And you start off the game feeling like you'll never ever get, because the game starts off, it's like, you can only have 15 cards in your tableau. And you're like, I can't pay for 2, so I don't know how I'm going to do anything. And you go through the first season, you're like, I got 2 cards out in the first season. Yay me. There's 4 seasons, I'll get 9 cards done. By the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, I only have room for 15. How am I going to optimize my score? I should just go for these really high value ones, but I gave them up earlier. It's a fun puzzle of just optimizing your engine. I have not heavily dove into the expansions yet. I played with some of the Kickstarter ones, the more recent ones, doing the Kickstarter.
Some of the original ones are really solid. Belfair I didn't care for as much. It doesn't have a lot of cohesiveness to us. It's kind of like an expansion of modules, and it's certain things that you can change to it. Pearlbrook is a lot of fun. It gives you a lot more in-game focus for using leftover resources, because you can build these kind of like wonders, these constructions, rather than going after the different
score 5 points.
Just the have 3 or 4 of these types in your city. Those regular ones.
Spirecrest
is where it's at for me.
Yeah, I love Spirecrest.
Spirecrest is so good.
Because I've heard that from multiple people, including the 2 of you. Spirecrest is the rules I've just recently read. Ready to play it.
Yeah.
Someday.
Spirecrest is definitely it narratively feels so cool. I do love, like, aesthetically and production wise, the fact that they have the expansion boards nestle perfectly onto the original board. I find that super satisfying. I think that Pearlbrook is really solid to show you a different way to think about end game with the constructions, but I think that Spirecrest is one that I'm like excited about the entire time I'm playing.
And then of course we have the new ones.
The new ones, New Leaf and Mistwood, I'm excited about those. Have not jumped into those at all, and I've been waiting for the complete collection to arrive, and I'm excited about that.
It's a great game.
Really, really good one.
But yeah, that's my number 25 is Everdell.
That's a solid pick.
What's your 25?
My number 25 was mentioned. I was going to say lower, but it's only lower since we've been filming here. But it was one that you love, that I said I was obsessed with and played a ton of. Paladins of the West Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, Paladins is a good one.
Oh my gosh, I love that stinking game. It is so fun. That's one that I asked to play too many times. That's why I've been like stopped from playing it recently. That if you love it that much, gosh, we should play.
Yeah, it's a good one.
It's so good.
I love that one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My 25 is one that I don't know if you guys have played it. It's Gloomhaven.
Really?
Yeah. 25 for me is Gloomhaven.
The way you said that, I thought it was a joke.
No, I don't feel the need to talk about this. These two have talked about Gloomhaven so much. Go to Camp Co-op, watch them play it.
Or just wait till later in this video series. I assume it will show up.
Yeah, sure.
Maybe.
They can talk about it better than I can. Most of my Gloomhaven experience is actually digital. I played a lot of it.
Playing with you is wonderful.
Yeah. Hey, we won. We won that.
Great.
We won that. I actually went back. I told you guys this off camera later, but I was like, I need to redeem myself to myself after that because I played it on Camp Co-op with them and it was not great.
All I'm saying is a good thing we were playing a fetch quest instead of a kill all enemies
To
quest.
be fair, I don't like the person that I played and I had no experience playing with them.
I don't like the person I played
But
with.
I played. Oh wait, no, I did. I did level up the crack heart. I did play with someone that I liked, but I went back and I played with. I realized I was level. I'm not too far behind you guys. I'm on my own. I'm level 5, almost 6 with both the crack heart and the tinkerer, and so I went back and I was like, I need to do a mission just to like remind myself I can play Gloomhaven even remotely competently, and I had a really good time with it. I loved it. Yeah, I won. Yeah, I won. Yeah. And got both my battle goals. So I was really happy with it.
That took me a second, but you played as 2 characters. I was like, you only get one? Yeah.
So you're playing it wrong. How are you playing it wrong digitally? We'd love to know. We've been trying.
So, no, I think Gloomhaven is fantastic. I think it is such a sharp game. It is instinctually not the type of game that I try to play myself usually. I think that solo, it's great because I don't mind that type of game solo, but if I'm playing with other people, I want a different type of player interaction, and I don't want as thinky of a title. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Gloomhaven is my 25.
Solid pick.
Thanks. And that's everybody's 25?
25. Yes,
so
indeed.
I'm going to jump into 24, which is a in-video crossover.
Oh.
Dun dun dun.
Oh.
With me?
Yeah.
For the Asians.
Oh. No way, not a chance on Earth.
No chance on Earth.
What did I pick? I picked for not Arena, not Food Chain Moo, maybe
Everdell?
Food Chain. No. Everdell?
Everdell.
Nice.
Yeah. I love Everdell. It's so good. I don't need to say anything else. We've talked about it.
Fruits.
You've talked about it in the last video. We've talked about it this
She
video.
just added squishy foods. That's a good point. We talked about that all before.
Everdell's great.
It inspired a
Everdell's
genre.
great.
And they use squishy foods as a genre now.
Yeah.
So, try out Everdell. I love it.
Yeah.
24
Excellent.
for me.
24 for me is a 3-way crossover. Not from this video. A 3-way crossover of a game in this room.
Cthulhu Death May
Marvel
Die.
United?
For 24?
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Marvel United?
No, actually, I did Marvel United already.
Cloudspire?
Nope. It's a game in this room out of sight.
Mythic Mischief?
Mythic Mischief.
Oh, it's Insight for us.
I didn't realize
Not
you
for
were going to
me.
put it back in the process.
I can't see it.
Mythic Mischief from Ivy Games is...
I'm killing the guesses.
Okay, so Mythic Mischief, just going to do a quick run through because I want to talk about it for a second. It's amazing. It's a puzzle of trying to figure out the patterns. You have asymmetric factions. Each asymmetric faction is basically an abstract game. It's actually higher than TAC, which surprised me because I thought TAC was my highest rated abstract, and Mythic Mischief may or may not be an abstract, but it's apparently my highest rated abstract. But it's all about using those factions and trying to level up your factions in different ways while you try to find the pattern. I love games that have you finding the pattern. This is all about that. You're like on this map, and you're like, how can I both not die and kill you at the same time? Not kill you, get caught by the Tomb Keeper, same idea.
Tome Keeper. He doesn't have sarcophagi in his house that he just is chilling
Like
with.
Tomb Raider.
Get caught by the Tomb Keeper.
Why did you also give her that look? He gave me a Venom look.
I love the game. I think it is fantastic. I enjoy the puzzle of it. And it's one of those games where I go back and forth as to what mode I prefer. Do I like the 2-player head-to-head, or do I want that 4-player blitz where it's just madness and insanity? Both are absolutely
I haven't tried
fantastic.
Amber would probably enjoy that one if we want to do that one tonight.
Please?
We just gotta teach it to her. I've never played it. I'd be happy to play it.
I've never played it 4 players.
Jumping into blitz mode is a little bit much for someone who hasn't played the game. But I'm down for the conversation.
Is 4-player teams or is it
teams.
free-for-all?
2v2.
Yeah.
We could
Great
just
game.
We could just
We can figure it out.
we could put her lumber with you.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm good at the game. I'm decent. You said you're terrible at it, so I'm good at it.
So when we say we're going to play it right after this, that one we might actually play right after this.
Don't believe us until we do.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Don't ever believe us.
Meg, to you.
My number 24 is a game that I think we'll all maybe play together soonish. Maybe. Maybe not.
Unsettled?
No, she doesn't
No,
play
no,
until
no.
that.
It was one that we were maybe going to play.
Feast for no.
Zaya?
She hasn't played Zaya.
I don't know what she has or hasn't played.
No. It's Stardew Valley.
We're not playing it.
I thought maybe we were going to.
We actually talked about playing it.
Because we were talking about trying to bring it down here.
Originally, we talked about it.
We
clarified it's not going to happen this trip.
Either way. Stardew Valley. No one's talked about it yet, right?
She hasn't played it.
No, it's not. It's not in our top 100.
That's what I didn't think.
Nope, haven't mentioned it.
Maybe soon.
Not in this video. Or the next.
Anyway, as a fan of Stardew Valley, I loved the video game, and then when a board game came out, I was one of the people that scooped it up and grabbed it before they reprinted it. So I got to play it right away. I do. I got my Nintendo. I have an Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch.
Because you also were talking about picking up Pokemon, so I was wondering if you have been playing these on Switch. Gotcha. Okay, cool.
So yeah, Stardew Valley I think is a great rendition of the board game or of the video game. I think they do it really well. That it's a direct love letter of the video game. I love the set collection in it, and it is very tricky. I think trying to do all of the goals for all of the Junimos and collect all of the things can be very difficult. And I just have such a great time playing it.
And there's animals in it.
And there's animals in it, and you get a dog or a cat, but you can't have both, which is a little upsetting. But yeah, it's very fun. There's custom dice in it that are very cute. There are the mines that make you feel kind of similar to the video game, where you're diving deeper and deeper. I just think they did such a great job taking the video game, making it a board game, and having it be difficult, even though it's a cute game. The only thing that I wish was a little bit different is for the video game, a major focus is building out your farm. And I think that the farm and crop system isn't as deep as it should be for how much of it is in the video game.
That was something I was confused about because he taught it to me very recently. Yeah. And like my impression of like the video game just from like vague, indirect knowledge is that it is very much like farming and kind of like crop harvesting and like the logistics of the farm that you have.
Yeah.
And the board game felt very much like actions around the town.
And to be fair, everything you do in it is everything you do in Stardew Valley. I think the thing is like Stardew Valley, I have sunk like 600 hours. So it's a huge video game. It's very deep. So a lot of it is your farm because that's where your main economy comes from. But you still do all of the other things that are in the world. So I think there just should have been a little bit more in the farm area, but I don't think too much more. There was just slightly not enough in that for me.
Gotcha.
Cool. Yeah. Devon, you're 24? What did you do?
24 for me I have already done. I think we're ready for you to snake on to 23.
23? 23 for me is, I'm going to get a little bit of flack, but it was a prototype that I played that has not yet delivered.
You know what? If you're going to at her, at me too. Throw it at me. Throw flack at me if you want to get onto her for
Give me the flack.
Yeah, give it. Give it.
It's a beast.
Oh, I have not played this game. And I want to play this because every time I talk about how much I love my management, Alex goes, yes, I agree with you. Also, Beast. And I was like, I haven't played it.
She thinks she prefers Beast to my management.
I definitely do. And I want to play it more.
You like the zero movement a lot.
Yeah.
Because you are a mean, horrible person to play with. And she's like, I want to get in your mind.
Yeah, so it's a hidden movement game where someone's playing as the Beast and then someone else is playing as like the townspeople and trying to figure out what's happening and going on. And there is a zero move, so it's hidden movement. You can move at like 1, 2, maybe 3. I think
you're moving in the directions basically.
Yeah.
So you're playing cards.
And there is a zero move, so you can just stay where you are to kind of try to trick them. And then the other thing about it is the way the actions are, it's a little bit reminiscent of Gloomhaven, where there's a top and bottom action, and you can play 2 per turn, where you can play a blue one and a red one. And the card play, that's really the only thing that is similar to Gloomhaven, but it still feels a bit reminiscent, where I really enjoy the puzzle of which cards you're choosing to play when. It is just beautifully done. The art of it is great, beautiful map, kind of like Norse-ish feeling with really cool creatures that you get to play as, and they all get like different abilities for depending who you're playing as. Oh, such a good one. fantastic.
It's an incredible game. I'm not even upset that he shows it. It's incredible. It's got asymmetric enemies, which is a huge thing. Just the own abilities. It's got you're drafting cards every round, so you're drafting. I'm literally, as we play the game, I'm passing to you the cards that you will use as my enemy, and I'm like, I just hope that I choose right.
Yeah.
And like
that's cool.
A hidden movement with drafting.
And with that, like you should be able to almost anticipate what actions they're taking.
Just like how excited you got talking about those two mechanics together.
It's the combination.
Hidden movement plus drafting, like what says what? Amazing.
Drafting who gets what.
Oh, I thought you said what says what.
Drafting who gets what.
It's like that.
You're like, what kind of weird expression you make when you're excited? I'm like, it's area control with drafting.
Did you understand what he said?
Yeah.
Oh, just
I was half listening.
I was like, he's literally just come up with like a new catchphrase with his excitement. Like, what says what?
What's up with the whack PlayStation what? You know that's from?
You're making Alex too cool.
Friends. One's an episode where Joey's trying. There's an episode in Friends where Joey is trying to act. Let's say.
Nothing. There's an episode of Friends.
Yep, talk about that.
There's an episode of Friends where Joey's trying to act like he's not like 30, or 40. So he's like, I'm gonna be like a 20. He's like, what's up with the whack PlayStation what?
Because he doesn't know what version they're on.
He's just like, what's up with the whack? It's funny.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Anyways,
23 for me is a game that you and I have talked about today, and we love its components. Wonderland's War.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 23 for you?
I really liked this game. Yeah. I just had so much fun with it. And I have not played it I've not played it at 4-player, so it has not dragged in terms of like
I played it at 5.
I would
I've played it at 3, and I feel like it's really sharp at 3. And I just think that I have not played Quacks of Quellenberg, so I don't have that particular dice building or bag building and like push your luck element to it. But I just thought that Wonderland's War was really clever. I think honestly part of my favorite element in that game is the intersection between the tea party drafting and what you're building for your bag, and then the variance of what the chips can be, because every single chip has an A, B, C, D side, and you can do like half A and half B, or all A, all B, all C, all D, or if you want to, you could just say screw that, and you could literally come up with whatever combination you want. And that variety alone of what those chips are going to represent drastically transform your decision space in terms of what type of bag you want to build, and also within each combination give players different there is no seamless, this is the one that makes sense, this is the way to build your bag with this particular group of people. You can do it however you want, especially when in combination with your asymmetric player board of what your person is good at. Like the first time I played, I was the Queen of Hearts, and she can split her forces between 2 different area controls. Yep. And I loved that. The ability to move wherever you wanted instead of one location meant that I was always a threat in the area control fight. And I loved that. And then the next time I played Alice, and her
Alice is nuts.
Her sword abilities and stuff like that, her powers were so cool. And then the Mad Hatter could just really do some crazy moves. And I loved how all of that functioned. And I think that if you consistently play it at the right player count, because it can play long. I would definitely not want to play at 5. I assume
our reaction when she said 5 was like,
I assume that was over 3 hours.
Yeah,
that just sounds way too long. But 3 player, unless you have 5 people that have played it a lot and can move through
it's brand new.
Yeah, that sounds horrific. That sounds horrific.
It's a great game. It's just not the slowness of it is the biggest problem, and 5 is going to magnify.
And also props to Skybound or Druid City. James Hudson is done with Tidal Blades, and this there are certain publishers that I'm like, oh, you are consistently going to make a production that is just wow. And Wonderland's War, the Deluxe Edition, is gorgeous.
And we didn't say it when I brought up, but you reminded me, the drafting, I think also mixing the theme with what the game is.
Yes.
The way the table is set up It even just like makes so much sense
The
that for
theme
someone
is
learning
perfect,
the game,
yeah.
you're like, oh, you're moving around the tea party table, and just even understanding like the spots and where you
Yeah.
have to move ahead. It is very seamless.
Yeah, it is Alice in Wonderland if conceived by like a mad high genius, like someone that was definitely on some hallucinogens.
Basically
It was
Alice
like,
in
let me
Wonderland.
go back to Alice in Wonderland and do it right.
Yeah.
You know.
It's solid.
Yeah, it's a great choice.
My 23 is a little surprising to me that it's higher than a different title on my list, but there's no way to do a good guessing here, so I'm not going to. It's Anno.
You guys want to guess?
It's Anno 1800. Anno 1800.
Higher than Brass
That's
Birmingham.
what I'm talking about.
Wow.
I still haven't played this one.
I know.
But you got rid of it?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's my
No.
23.
I guess that's fair. I thought you did. I don't know why.
I found that I know why you like it so much. It does.
I think Brass is better. Anno is rated higher for me. And the reason, for me, part of it is just going to be Anno's a game I'm always in the mood to table. Brass is a game I have to be in the mental mindset for. Brass is more mentally taxing because of what's going on in the game. Anno 1800 just feels like a more fun, lighter version of Brass.
I think you do a lot better than I do with Euro mechanics that are abstracted from a physical space. Like, Anno really bothered me that, and maybe it was because I played it after Brass Birmingham, but I love that what I'm doing with, like, on my player board and getting those tiles built and constructed and layering those out physically takes place in something that is affected by and can influence other players. And
in Anno, you're just building your own factory.
you're just building your own factory. I do think it's really clever in figuring out like what industries you're going to keep and which ones you're just going to rely on trading from other players.
I love that.
And I do think it's really clever. It's just it was divorced from some of the elements that I love a lot.
And it's the same designer, for those who don't know, Martin Wallace, same designer, and to me I just feel that what Anno 1800 does is it captures the feeling of Brass, not as much intricacy of a lot of the elements, but the feeling's there, and the game time is shorter, the accessibility is shorter, the mental load is shorter. And again, I'm a little surprised at it ranks higher because I do think Brass is a better game. I don't think I could look at the two and think Anno 1800 is a better game. But Anno 1800 is better for me. It is the game I am more interested in playing at any given point.
It's your epic spell wars.
Yes, exactly. Going to pub meeple, trying to think through what I'd rather play, this or this, this or this or this. Anno 1800 beats out Brass for me. I'd rather play Anno 1800.
Yeah, I think that's fair. And as soon as I played that, I was like, I know why Alex loves this game.
Are we on to 22?
22, yeah, what's your 22?
My 22 is a Euro which I don't believe either of you have played. I don't believe.
Way to
El
call us
Grande.
out.
I have not played.
No.
El
He
Grande.
could say, I don't believe either of you played to 90%
game.
of his top 500, and you and
Yeah.
I would be like, yeah, it makes sense. Sounds makes sense.
El Grande
Makes sense.
is, first of all, it's a game that plays amazingly at 5. In fact, it's the only player count I want to play it at. So when you're next time you have 5 people together,
El
they
Grande,
say one
you
more.
want to play Euro at 5?
El Grande to me, my desired play count is 5.
Wow.
Possibly for nothing else.
Wow.
Yeah. And it plays fast for that time frame. It gives you 1.5 to 2 hours for the game. It is area control distilled down to its core elements. The general idea of El Grande is every turn you're going to pick a card that defines what you're putting out onto the board and how much. And you're going to be placing what?
Oh, I was just using my arms.
And you're going to be going ahead and putting down the meeples into different areas on the board. And the way you put out the meeples, which powers you try to get your hands on as you play through the game, it's all about just getting your meeples into the right areas and then messing with other players in so many different ways. It is satisfying. It teaches. I could teach you the game in like 10 minutes. I think I've done a time teach in 6 minutes one time.
Let's do it.
Wow.
Yeah. Next time at a house, we'll get Akiva and one other person.
That's a
will figure
long
it
time
out.
for me.
We'll like 5 minutes. Well, for you paying attention, by the time you get to the 4-minute 4, you'll be taking your first turn. But I love El Grande. It teaches quickly. It plays quickly. The nuance and depth of it is just in how much stuff there is. The screwage in it is high, which means Meg's going to love it for the most part.
Until someone screws me over.
That's
then
what I
I'm
was
like,
thinking.
"Eh."
The screwage is high!
It's very...
I look for games with maximum screwage.
It's like a 1995 title. It's a 1995 title. It holds up. It's so good. It's El Grande. Number 21.
22 for me is Space Hulk Death Angel, the card game.
Interesting.
So this is designed by Corey Konietzka from Fantasy Flight, like the time period in which I got so many of their games, but I didn't get this one. I didn't know about this one. And it is now an exceedingly rare title. It's out of print. It's with the Warhammer license back when they had it. It is a game that can play up to 6 players, but most people who have it really enjoy it as a solo game.
I think I forgot you can play it with more than one.
Yeah. So most people see it as primarily a solo game. I actually played it with my brother came to town back in like March, I think, and we played it at 2 players, and I still had a great time playing it at 2 players, which kind of tells me that I think I would enjoy it no matter what the player count is, as long as I have the right people at the table. But it's this really clever little game where you have this physical formation, and all of your troops are in the formation, and they have a facing. They're either facing left or they're facing right, and they can swap. And then in the lore of Warhammer, these are Space Marines, or like Space Hulk Death Marines. And you're going on a derelict vessel, which to me feels very much like Dead Space, which is one of my favorite video games. And then you have all of these Tyranids, which are an alien race in Warhammer in that universe. And they're essentially coming in from ducts, from doorways, like all over. And they will...
From ducks?
Like D-U-C-T.
If you hear that rumbling, it's thunder outside.
We got
It's
great...
spooky.
We got like a great little ambiance right now. You know, we have nice like rain and stuff going on. And so they're like swarming in, and they'll come in swarms that will be on either side of the Space Marines. And they may be where you're facing, or they may be behind you. And in terms of games, it has the most brutal dice, the single dice that I can think of other than the Dead of Winter, the Dead of Winter dice.
This one's worse. The odds are worse.
It's brutal. It is so brutal, and it is one of those games where I enjoy games just as much when I lose as because to me it's like this story that I kind of like have built up over the course of it, and it's a very simple game. You have like 3 cards. You choose one of them with each firing squad that you're in control of. If you're playing solo, you're in control of I think 3, and you play 1 card of the 3. And then the next round, you can't play that card. You have to play one of the other 2 cards. Wow. So you're like, okay, this round I'm going to shoot, and you're like, next round I'm going to like offer up support to a teammate. And you're like, this round I'm gonna move and interact with like maybe a doorway or something, or some terrain or something that's there. And so you're trying to always like. The nice thing is though is like different people have different range. So if you're playing by yourself or with different people, you're like, hey, your back is facing to the Gene Stealers like behind you, like those Tyranids there, like they're coming after you. I am below you, but I'm facing the right way, so I'm gonna shoot them. Even though you are like unprotected right now, and then if I kill all of them, then hopefully you can on your turn give like me a support token to where I can re-roll if someone attacks me, and they're like, oh, you're gonna move and you're gonna activate that door, which means after we clear these Gene Stealers, we can go to the next level. And so you're trying to progress through a couple different levels until you get to like the part of the mission that allows you to escape, and it's tough. It's a hard game. The dice is brutal. But I have so much fun with it. It's really good. And I was lucky enough to find someone that had all of the expansions, which is not as expensive as finding people with the Battlestar Galactica expansions, but like it's tough to find. So I love the game a lot.
That's what I've always wanted to try.
Space Hulk Death Angel? I got it in there.
Now you're playing solo. It's worth a shot.
Yeah.
22 for you.
What's your 22?
I thought you were saying like I could play in 2022. I was like, there's not enough time.
We got a few weeks.
Yeah, we could totally do it.
My number 22 is a campaign game. We're starting to get into my campaign games that I absolutely love. It's one I discovered this year, Vagrantsong.
Ooh.
Vagrantsong is a boss battler where you're playing as these different vagrants.
We did the same thing. I audibly said it, but then
I've been trying to do less ooze because I feel I do it too often that it loses meaning. Like almost like random title. Ooh.
We're in the top 25.
Yeah. Good title. Sorry, Vagrantsong.
Yeah, so you're moving through different train cards, and it is campaign story based. So you are coming across these different haints where you're trying to restore humanity to them. It is very like thematic and rich in the lore. There's like someone with a bunch of hangy skin. There's someone that has a bunch of arms. There's like a screaming ghost lady. There's lots of yuckies going on. Some of it I'm like hearing the descriptions and I'm like, I don't know if I can keep listening.
My favorite ones is still one of the first ones, the turning faces. Because the little acrylic standee, you turn it and it always has its back.
It's always the back of its head.
Yeah.
It's lovely.
It's creepy.
Yeah, so it's really well done. You have like different special abilities. Each character, you get your own set of cards, and then you have one ability So it's not like too complex or too much. I'm playing it at 2-player, and we each have 2 characters each. And shout out to the acrylic standees. They're absolutely beautiful. The art in the game is so fun. And again, it's a dice rolling game.
Yep. Which you're good at.
I play as the Empress.
Which you're very good at.
Yeah, the Empress has booming boxcar that when you roll a 6, you get to roll an additional
Exploding
6.
sixes, yeah.
I rolled like 6 times in a row one time, all
wow.
6s. It
That's
was
crazy.
amazing.
So many chef's kisses.
So much fun. Yeah, I really, really love that one.
Snake into your 21.
My 21. Oh.
I love the enjoyment of certain titles.
Yeah.
When a game evokes that level of emotion, that's how you know you love the hobby. Like you're even just saying its name, even just getting the chance to talk about it, it feels like a privilege.
Yeah.
Kama Sutra. Oh, sorry. Kabuto Sumo is what I meant.
Kabuto Sumo.
Yeah, that's one game we don't want.
My number 21 is a title by Greater Than Games.
Spirit Island?
Spirit Island. A fantastic cooperative experience. Oh my goodness. Where you're playing as you're trying to stop colonizers. Where they're all like coming in onto your island trying to build up these cities, and you're just trying to stop it and, only fight for the locals. I am now married to Amber.
Good for you. Good for you. That's a win. That's a win.
The locals.
Yeah, and you have these like different player boards where it's all asymmetric player powers, where you are throughout the game, you are adding your presence to different places on the island, but in doing that, you're unlocking more powers for yourself, where you're either drawing more cards or you have more power to spend to use the cards. And there's also like this element tracking system where depending on what you play, the elements outside hear me. Depending on what you play, you have like other abilities that you can unlock throughout the game. It is just such a delightful time. That's another one that I feel the game builds and builds, and sometimes you can feel very overwhelmed, that when you end up winning, it feels very rewarding.
One of the things I've always said about Spirit Island that I love is that when I'm playing a cooperative or a solo game, I like winning. I do like winning, but I like feeling challenged. That's the thing. I just like the feeling of like I have to think my way out of this. And Spirit Island is one of those games that even on the easier difficulty levels, even though you actually might have the game completely in control, you never feel like you can relax. You always feel like you're optimizing your way towards it. And so it's a game that both gives me the fact that I do win most of the time, with the fact that I feel challenged the entire time. And I like that combination.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where instead of feeling like you've got the game from the beginning, you're like, I've got this turn.
Yes.
I can get through this turn, and this turn's going to be okay, but next turn, I don't know.
My 21 is one we've all played, and it's Endless Winter.
Nice.
Endless Winter is my 21. Endless Winter, Paleo Americans, whatever it is, from Fantasia Games, is a worker placement deck building game in which the game is all about the worker placement deck building. There's all about these 4 different lanes of how you're going to try to optimize. Which side little mini game are you playing? Are you trying to play with your encampment? Are you trying to go hunting? Are you trying to build up those culture cards? And there's one more which I'm forgetting. Oh, the main cards, the main actual cards. So you have your culture cards, you have your main cards, you have your encampment, and you have your hunting area. And there's expansion that makes up the experience as well. But the general deck building in the experience is so much fun to try to figure out how to get one more thing going. And many of the things you draw go straight into your hand. So often when you gather a card, it goes directly into your engine that you're trying to apply to those things. The whole game is 12 worker placements. There's 12 times you're placing on meeple in the game. That's all it is, but it feels like you get so much done in that game that if anything, I would say it feels too long. Not like it feels like, not long enough. But it's a satisfying combo-tastic version of just how you mix up everything together to try to find your optimal strategy. Lots of ways you can play through it, and with the art from the Mitchell as well, just overall a very rewarding experience.
It goes so deep.
Yes.
Like there's so many different things that you can be doing. It's overwhelming at the start, but then if you just start leaning into a certain strategy or 2 strategies, you can at least like keep up, I feel like. But that one we played a few times. It didn't make it on my list because we did this before we had played it.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it's just there's so many different ways you can do things.
Yeah, Endless Winter.
21 for me is the first title that I have.
Is this the last title?
Yeah.
Oh, last title.
21 for me is the first title on my entire list that I have manually massaged. And I just demoted it from 20 because I was like, I don't know if I can allow it to be in my top 20 just because I'm worried about recency bias or Cult of the New. And it is I think the very, very first direct crossover on the entry.
Is it Endless Winter?
It is Endless Winter.
I am guessing all of them.
So Endless Winter was in my number 20, and literally before Alex started talking, I was looking at my list. I was like, I'm worried if this is Cult of the New. I was like, I'll drop it down because the 21, I'm happy to be in my 20 spot. And I was like, I'm gonna drop this down. And then Alex was like, Endless Winter, and I was like, it's like, okay. It's like, wow. I guess so. Endless Winter for me, and yeah, I've been thinking about Endless Winter a little bit more recently, and I was like, part of me is like, I've really enjoyed the 2 plays that I've had. And I'm also wondering, at the length that it has, will it beat out my other title of those 3 that I love so much? And I was like, if I always have the choice of playing it, will I ever even pick it? Like, and I'm curious to see where that lands. But the 2 times I've played, I've really enjoyed it. I love the artwork.
Sadly.
Did I win on? Yeah, I guess I did.
That was rude.
Don't worry, it was
because he took so long.
I took so long.
And I don't like it. My thing is, when you're going to take
gosh.
so long in a game, I want you to not win. I don't want you to feel rewarded for that. I want you to feel punished.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But I do think that, based off of the experience playing with it, I think that you guys, independently on 2 different playthroughs, chose a strategy that seems really strong early and fades at the end.
Yeah,
I think the pure animal strategy, like, starts off so strong.
So fun.
It literally looks like, when you start in the first half of the game, it looks like a steam-rolling strategy, and then it kind of, like, peters out a little bit towards the end. Mm-hmm. But I had a really fun time with that, and I do think that with the expansions, there's enough variety there to mix in things. Like, when we played the second time we played with everything.
Everything is lost.
Minus
almost everything.
Yeah, almost everything. Yeah. There were a couple things we didn't add in. But I really liked the rest mechanic, having the token. I never got to use it. Meg, I think, got almost every single one.
Yeah.
And I think the only other one she didn't get was Alex grabbed
I didn't do it last round because it didn't matter for me.
But it was really fun, and I just was a little bit worried. I was like, is there too much recency bias here? And I was like, I'll push it down. So 21 for me is also when
I'm doing my top 100, I'm generally mindful that if something's more recent, even if I think it's higher, I try to bump it up a few spots. I'm like, I don't know if I want to say this so soon.
Yeah. So Endless Winter for me is 21.
Our first direct crossover, of which I wonder, as we head into the top 20, and I
don't know if
we
we're
share
have
some
any.
taste.
Oh, you think there's going to be some more?
I think we have more tastes. The further down we go, the more we align on how much we love certain games.
I feel like you two have played more titles together,
we have at least 3 that I think are both in our top 10.
I'm guessing there will be 2 more direct crossovers in the top 20.
Yeah.
Fair.
I'm guessing we have 3. Actually, I'm guessing we have 4 in the top 10.
Direct crossovers? Whoa, that's direct line to line.
Entry to entry is what I'm...
Okay, I think we have 4 shared in the top 10.
I think we have more than that. We'll see. Anyways, you'll have to wait till the next video, as will we apparently, because we will be going through this. But this has been our 30 through 21. We'll be back with more videos shortly. Until next time, I'm Alex.
Bye.
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 I'm Meg.
I'm Devon.